I played the ever-loving shit out of Animal Crossing New Horizons when it came out. I put in about 150 hours in just March and April alone. My mother was showing symptoms for you-know-what, so I stayed home from work for a good month and some change. My poor favorite cat was on his last legs too. This couldn't have come out at a better time for me. I was home all day thinking about and being around that damn cat. I needed something to turn to for comfort when he was unfortunately put down on April 3rd. Obviously, that part was sad as hell, and I'm still always thinking about him. But man, Animal Crossing was magical. I've loved the franchise since I was younger, and this one looked like it was going to be the best one and have the longest longevity. Here we are, not even a year later, and I barely play it anymore. This is one of the few franchises that I sadly think I've outgrown. I still get excited when new Pikmin, Digimon, Mario, Smash games, or other media like that are announced, but I think something along the way happened with Animal Crossing. I'm going to start out with why I liked it so much in the beginning. I had so much time. Again, with no job, a lengthy 2-week break from school, and then moving to remote learning after that, time was on my hands constantly. New Horizons is a game that doesn't respect your time at all. Literally everything takes too damn long to do. When you have so much free time, this is basically a non-issue. I love the aspect of basically building your whole island. Putting furniture outside seems like such a basic feature, but it really separated who cared about their islands and who really didn't. Let's be real. In the game's pre-New Leaf, it was pretty difficult to make a town stand out. I guess the player could grow a cool flower pattern or something, but there's not really too much a tryhard can do to make their town look sick. The Nook Miles are an amazing addition as well that always gave the player something to do. Earning these were so much fun and it was basically rapid fire. The game is constantly awarding the player. There are more long-term Nook Miles and temporary quick ones. The game also looked lovely. Animal Crossing transitioned into HD so nicely. The soundtrack is peaceful, but it doesn't even come close to touching the brilliance of the GameCube one in my opinion. I had the launch Switch and really wanted that extra battery life. Nintendo released the Animal Crossing Switch and I was super fast to scoop that shit up. At the time, I was sort of sharing my Switch with my two brothers. Due to Animal Crossing's dumbass one island per console rule, I bought the new Switch so when my brother moves out, I wouldn't ruin the game for him. I sold him my old Switch and I was super happy with the Animal Crossing theme and extra battery life. The console launched a week before the game did, and to say that I was hyped is an understatement. The game looked promising. The first month was fantastic when I actually got it into my hands. The new Animal Crossing Edition Switch pushed the hype levels even further. So what happened? One thing that I'm not really a fan of is the vendor system. Monday through Friday, a random vendor shows up. Some of them are sweet. CJ and Flick make models, Red can sell paintings that go to the museum, Gulliver gets you progress towards the golden shovel. However, there are a couple main problems in my opinion. The first is that KK would appear on Friday if something is going on Saturday. This takes a vendor away for the week. However, Nintendo did patch this and now he appears on Sunday. The second is that I could not give less of a shit about Kix, Label, Leaf, and Carpet Muncher. That's like half of the vendors, and it's annoying when somehow it just happens that for 2 weeks in a row, you have all these vendors and not one that you're actually going to use. There's been so many play sessions where I'll log on, go to the town square, see Mabel, and just turn the game off. Remember how I said that it's cool that you could put a lot of furniture outside? I did just that, but then it hit me. I'm not creative, and I have a horrible fashion sense. No matter what I did, something felt off about my island. It probably didn't help that I look online to see some insane shit. Like I saw one that just wowed me. A person remade Johto on his island. That's so cool. Terraforming is such a cool idea, but goddamn, it is the slowest and most painful thing ever. Even just making paths got annoying after a bit. I get that it's Animal Crossing, that it's cute, that your guy is doing it himself or herself, but a bird's eye view grid system would have been so much more intuitive. I love how you could do that in your house. It makes moving furniture a breeze, and the outside portion of the game really could have used it. Is it just me, or are the characters more static than usual? I'm best friends with Ruby, she gave me her portrait and everything, but she repeats lines so much. Not just that, I have other peppy villagers like the Flamingo, forgot her name at the moment, but they act and talk super similar. Yes, similar villagers will act similarly, but they also just seem less lively overall. In the older games, their dialogue was much more amusing. Then there's the crafting, and dear god, this shit got old quick. Crafting as an idea is cool and I love learning new recipes, but once I saw that tools were in the mix, I knew this was going to add to the tedium, and I was right. The fact that you can't craft in bulk in a game that was made in 2020 is beyond ridiculous. There's no good reason why crafting fish bait should be a half-hour chore. The whole not respecting time becomes abundantly clear when you try to craft in this game. I've been using gameplay of my island, and I bet you noticed something. There are flowers everywhere. There's a Nook Mile for planting 300 flowers. My brother and I are super impatient, so instead of letting this happen naturally over time, we both rushed it and planted our flowers at nearly the same time. So now the flowers are everywhere and it's super disorganized. To make matters worse, every time it rains, the flowers breed. To take things a step further, you can't simply run over flowers to kill them anymore. You gotta dig them up. This basically ruined any chance of me trying to clean up my island. This process is excruciatingly time-consuming. I think I prefer the catching bugs and fish aspect rather than the decorative part anyway. This feels better in the original game because they had the acre system. This guaranteed a bug and fish would spawn per acre. So the problem here is probably just me. I really thought that I'd be into the recipes and decorating, but I'm just not. My most fond memories of Animal Crossing come from catching bugs and fish to hoard money and pay off that damn debt. I'm not saying that Animal Crossing New Horizons is a bad game. It adds quite a bit to the franchise, but I find the slow-paced gameplay of Animal Crossing just makes it clunky and tedious. Objectively, this is probably the best entry of the series because there's so much to do. Like I said, in a month, I put 150 hours into it, and it was honestly some of the most fun I had in gaming, period. The stuff that I love about the old Animal Crossing is still there. I love catching bugs, fish, and the diving critters. Now there's more than ever to do. CJ and Flick making models of them is a nice excuse to catch 3 of each critter and the nice display piece. Paying off the debt is still fun and satisfying, but it really feels like something is missing or off. Maybe I just miss the good old acre system too much. Maybe the original soundtrack adds more flair than I thought. Maybe I just have some lame villagers in my town. I'd feel like I can't award this game anything lower than a 6 out of 7 due to how much I had fun a year ago, but I'm really on the fence. I think I'm just going to award this a 5. I missed Wild World, but the original City Folk and New Leaf held my attention for years. I think I'm just going to stick with a 5 on this one.